Stop.
That lawnmower. That's it. Yeah. Start that. Jake Paul might be too big for him, or Tank might crack him. You don't know.
And made a post and basically told Roach. He tagged Lamar Roach and he said, "Look, you're not getting that fight with Tank."
A day in Gervonta Davis's life, while preparing for Jake Paul, is centered on focus and hard work. Every session targets sharpness, power, and speed. From conditioning drills to sparring, he remains disciplined and committed to his goals. Each workout reflects his determination to be ready for the challenge ahead, leaving no space for distractions. Rolly Romero's comments bring balance to the Jake Paul vs. Gervonta Tank Davis fight. He stresses that Tank's legacy remains secure no matter the result. As a world champion with major accomplishments, Davis has nothing to prove against Jake Paul. Still, Romero admits Paul's size is a real factor. His natural size offers a physical edge, but it doesn't take away from the respect and accolades Tank has already earned.
Be too big for him, but Jake Paul might be too big for him, or Tank might crack him. You don't know. Like I said, or as an exhibition, we don't know if they throw at each other or not, or we don't know. I don't know. I can't give an opinion because I don't know what's going on.
Do you think it impacts, will it impact Tank's legacy if Jake Paul were to beat him or even knock him out?
Dude, Tank's a 3-division world champion, 4-time 3-division world champion. At the end of it, bro, you can't take anything away from him.
You know, some people trying to give, that's fair, some people trying to give Tank a hard time. They're saying he should have took a fight with Lamar Roach or Shakur Stevenson. But when you think about it, do you think this is business and look, he's getting a bag, or is there some validity to people saying that he ducked Roach?
I mean, there's still other options, you know. It's bro, you can't be mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them. It's the same way Roach feels Tank is the best option for him. Same way that Stevenson thinks Tank's the best option for
Paulie Malignaggi highlights the key difference between size and experience. While Jake Paul has gained popularity and physical strength, Malignaggi argues that experience surpasses raw power. Gervonta Davis has performed on the biggest stages, headlined major events, and faced elite opponents. No matter Paul's size, he cannot match Tank's years of training, ring IQ, and adaptability. Malignaggi's view rests on the belief that in boxing, skill and experience usually outweigh size.
Bonafide world champion. I don't care if he's much smaller. I think Jake Paul has sort of plateaued as far as where his boxing is concerned. It's rather low level. Yeah. He's big, he's physical, he's strong, he can hit. So there is that risk. Davis, at lightweight, you're in a moment where it's too physical for you. You can clinch. Against the heavyweight, where you clinching? You ain't getting out of that corner just clinching anymore if you run out of space. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. But Davis, listen, there's a lot of talking points that I'm sure we'll get into when this gets closer to the fight. Davis can still punch at lightweight. Can he drop a heavyweight? There's a lot to gain there, right? If Davis knocks
the answer is yes.
If Davis drops Jake on his ass, as much as Davis is the one with more to lose, it's still a highlight moment.
A visual that will stay forever.
Yeah, but if you get dropped, even if you're smaller, you're still a world champion, multiple weight classes. If you get dropped, what's the look? What's the feel? On the inside, as boxers, me and Chris Algieri, the champ, even you, Jimmy, you have fight experience, so we know that the risk is a big guy that big hits you. You're probably going down if you're a small guy, if he hits you clean. So we know the risk, but how does it look to the public eye who don't understand that? You know what I mean? The public. So there is a lot to lose, though. There's a bit to gain. I wouldn't necessarily have an issue with this had Davis's career arc been one that benefited boxing. Davis was manufactured and put into a position where he's supposed to benefit boxing, and I don't think he has. I think he's hurt boxing. So by giving him this reward, that's my problem. Why are we watching this? Why don't you make him earn his spot that he still hasn't earned?
Teofimo Lopez sees the event more as spectacle than sport. To him, it's less about legacy or rankings and more about entertainment and money. He notes that both Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis will earn huge paydays, which can't be ignored. While it may not hold the weight of a world title fight, Lopez believes it's still good for boxing. By pulling mainstream attention, even an exhibition-style matchup can attract new fans and expand the sport's reach.
I'm actually very happy for Gervonta and Jake. I really am, man. It's good for the sport in some way, you know?
So a heavyweight versus a lightweight.
Yeah.
You got a fly hit me, yeah. A heavyweight versus a lightweight. How's this gonna work?
Hey, they make it work. It's an exhibition for a reason. So, you know, they know what they're doing. And, you know, shout out to Netflix and shout out to both of them, honestly. Like I said, I think a lot of people in the boxing world are kind of upset. I could care less. I think they're going to go out there and make their money. It falls on the number 8 for a reason. They're going to make a lot of money.
Have you got a prediction for that fight?
My prediction? A show. A show.
Well, clearly it's a show, but when you've got a lot of people underestimating Jake Paul once again, but when you've got a heavyweight boxer who knows how to throw punches and knows the basics against a lightweight, it's quite a difference. I mean, have you sparred heavyweights before?
Yeah.
For competitive sparring in the ring?
Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same, not at all. Definitely got to move. I've actually played around a few times, went through between their legs just to duck around. But yeah, because they're taller, you know. But I think for that competition, that fight, it reminds me a lot like The Big Show, and Floyd Mayweather when they fought in WrestleMania.
Yeah. And will that end the same way?
Possibly. Maybe some brass knuckles in there too.
Can you see Jake Paul knocking out Gervonta Davis?
It's boxing, man.
Nate Diaz, known for his blunt honesty, dismisses the matchup outright. He sees no real competitive value in the fight, arguing that the outcome won't meaningfully impact either fighter's career. Diaz describes it as a spectacle made purely for entertainment, similar to professional wrestling, viewing it more as a sideshow than a legitimate sporting contest.
Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. Does Davis have a chance?
Fuck no. Gervonta is a great boxer, but he ain't gonna be.
So you got Jake Paul by knockout, or?
No, I don't got anybody, but I don't think
He's just too small.
It just. I don't want to beat up somebody that small. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying?
What do you think of the fight?
I don't want to lose to somebody that. There's no point in the fight. It's a great fight, actually.
You think
I'm
it's a
not
good
hating
fight?
on the fight, but I think. My thoughts on it is let's watch and see what happens.
Ryan Garcia said that boxing's turning into WWE.
Yeah,
with that type of matchup. What do you agree? Last thing, White House card, like he said, you want Conor McGregor?
Yeah, but the whole thing's on WWE, so
Right.
it's like, at least that's happening and it's getting something to talk about, something to watch, and I'm looking forward to that fight.
Jeff Mayweather shares Nate Diaz's skepticism, calling the matchup unusual and questioning its purpose. He sees little sense in matching an established champion like Tank with YouTuber-turned-boxer Jake Paul. While he recognizes the business side of boxing, he still views the fight as odd and almost unnecessary, reflecting the confusion many traditional fans feel about crossover bouts.
It's kind of weird, because Jake Paul is extremely bigger than Tank. And I mean, but with it being exhibition, it makes sense. It's fine. He got a big name that he's going to be fighting. But I mean, it really makes no sense because he's going to be weighing over 200 and some pounds. Tank's going to probably be weighing maybe at the most 147, 150. So I don't even understand why the fight is happening.
KSI, a veteran of influencer boxing, sheds light on Jake Paul's promotional tactics. He says rumors of Paul fighting Anthony Joshua were never realistic, meant only to generate hype. In his view, the fight with Tank is another step in Jake's strategy to build buzz rather than seek serious competition. KSI highlights the theatrical and often manipulative nature of modern boxing promotions.
I knew AJ and Jake was never going to happen.
I didn't.
Really?
Yeah.
You thought it was actually going to happen? Well, it's so crazy. Like, I feel like so many people just believe everything online.
But that's pretty unbelievable on the other hand.
I feel like I know. Well, okay, how do I say it like this? Itoma versus White. I had a lot of people bet on White winning. And I'm there like, you guys don't watch boxing, do you? You just look at a record and go, oh, Dylan's fought many more people than Itoma. That record says a lot. Itoma's like 18, not 18, Itoma's 20, inexperienced, one. Like, I just knew Itoma was gonna just destroy him. And I think a good fight for Itoma would be him and Wilder. I think that'd be
BJ Flores, who has trained Jake Paul extensively, takes a more positive view. He believes Jake's long-term growth suits the cruiserweight and heavyweight divisions, where his size is optimal. Flores also sees the Tank Davis fight as an opportunity. Sharing the ring with the champion boosts Jake's profile and opens doors for bigger opponents in higher weight classes. He frames the fight as a stepping stone in Jake's boxing journey.
It's a funny story. So one of my good friends, Armani, he has been working with Jake Paul for the last 2 years. Oh. There was a little time where Shane wasn't there with Jake, and Armani called me up and said, "Hey, BJ, will you come down to Big Bear and spar with Jake?" And I'm like, "You want me to spar with Jake?" I'm thinking to myself, you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, he's beating up all his sparring partners. We come, I was like, all right. I mean, fine, I'll go down there and do it. I have been inactive. I haven't done anything for like 8 months. But I was like, okay, I'll go down there. So we spar a couple times. After that, they decided I was too big for him. And, it's better if we just, not do it. And, then they asked me if I would be interested in like working the mitts with them and helping him with the combinations, because I was hitting him with some combinations they hadn't seen before. And I said, we can teach him all those things and have him doing all those things. And so I started working the mitts with him and helping him out on the mitts. And he told his trainers and everybody, they're like, "Man, I want BJ around for the entire camp because I'm getting better." My job is like Shane does the advice.
Journalist Gareth A. Davies criticizes the upcoming fight, calling it a circus that favors spectacle over substance. He argues that while it draws public attention, it undermines boxing's credibility. The mismatch in weight and division sacrifices fair competition for financial gain. Davies warns that if this trend continues, the sport's integrity could suffer as purists and longtime fans lose faith. Still, he concedes that such controversial fights generate massive buzz, showing that controversy remains a powerful promotional tool in boxing.
We were going to get Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua very soon. We'll speak to Frank Smith about that in the next section, obviously. Eddie Hearn was teasing it to me personally last week. £80 million on the table for Anthony Joshua to fight Jake Paul. But 8 inches in height difference, 7 weight divisions between them, 5 stone, 70 pounds between them. It's a joke. It's a circus fight, as opposed to a disgrace of a fight, which was Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. At least you feel in this, you've got quite a poor, very big one against a pound-for-pound, brilliant, unbeaten little un. And the little un who'll come up to his navel will hit him with a lot of body shots. I said in the week to Danny Kelly and Charlie Brooker that, do I mean Charlie Brooker? No, Baker. Charlie Baker. That Charlie Brooker's a different person altogether. That he'll be throwing the Superman punch, the leaping left hook. It's going to be a very odd thing. It's called, in inverted commas, an exhibition bout. But everybody in boxing who is a name doesn't mind going in with Jake Paul because they know they're making millions of dollars. And that's the only reason that Gervonta Davis, who's being called the poison little elf by Jake Paul, and it'll be fun in the build-up. Everybody in boxing knows they're guaranteed to make millions of those silverbacks, those greenback notes that they give out in America, and they give them out for fun when Jake Paul fights. So he's not going to say no to it. But can you pick a winner in that fight?
I don't want to.
Vargas Jr. offers a different take, focusing on the element of surprise. He believes the unpredictability of the fight adds a unique layer of intrigue. The matchup caught many off guard, and for that reason, it generates excitement and keeps fans talking. In his view, audiences thrive on novelty, and this fight delivers exactly that. Whether the outcome is good or bad, Vargas Jr. feels the shock factor alone makes it noteworthy and a topic of conversation.
More popular, that's why we're seeing the Jake Paul versus Gervonta fight, which is, that's crazy to me because we would never see that. And, back in my dad's day, but now we're getting this and it's just like, fuck it. I mean, people are going to see it, bro. So it is what it is. But whether people know him more or not, or me, it doesn't matter. I know that he's coming and he's coming game and he wants to make a statement as well. So we're just coming to interrupt those plans. This is boxing. And I'm so excited to demonstrate my skills. I could box, I could counterpunch, I could bang when I want to, and I'm gonna demonstrate that. I'm gonna do what I want to do in there come September 13th.
Yeah, we spoke about this a little bit earlier. But it's a 10-round fight. Could be a different pace of a fight. But what do you think is like the key for you to get this win, regardless if it's a knockout or if it goes all 10 rounds?
I think just be smart. Be in there, be smart, be first, and do what I do. I think if I try to do a little too much, like my dad says, when you try doing too much, it looks you're trying too hard. So only thing I got to do is just come in the best shape possible. If it goes 10 rounds, then it goes 10 rounds. We're doing 12 rounds of sparring. So if it needs to go to 10 rounds, we'll have the gas tank to go. I don't know if he's gone a full 10 rounds. I haven't, so it'll be something for.
Wade Plem argues that Jake Paul has revitalized boxing by drawing in audiences who might never have followed the sport. He notes Jake's appeal is especially strong among younger viewers who favor entertainment-driven events over traditional matchups. While purists dismiss these fights as gimmicks, Plem sees them as part of boxing's necessary evolution. In his view, the fight with Gervonta Davis continues this trend by engaging the mainstream, even amid controversy. He believes growing the sport's popularity and cultural relevance outweighs concerns about authenticity. Many analysts agree that the matchup is driven more by business than competition, with Jake Paul benefiting most from facing a proven world champion like Tank Davis.
If you want to join the circus, that's the circus. I don't see the value. I just see money involved in that. If they want the money, if that's what they want to do, then go ahead and go ahead and get the money. But other than that, you got a guy, Jake Paul, that's what, 6'3", 6'4", almost. Then you got a guy, Gervonta Davis, that's like 5'5", a little guy. Yeah. Y'all gonna try to, who's 200 pounds, who's just for Mike Tyson there, I'm gonna throw him in there with a 135. It's just a circus, and that's what they want to do, to give money, to generate money in the sport of boxing instead of Gervonta Davis. This is a legacy fight. He was supposed to fight Lamont Roach after this, and then he say, no. Think about it. You really can't say too much. When you say Gervonta Tank Davis and you say...
For Paul, the bout delivers massive exposure, credibility, and financial gain. Analysts describe it as a calculated move to expand his brand, attract a wider fan base, and secure lucrative opportunities in the boxing market, regardless of whether he wins or loses. The ripple effect of the fight also impacts other fighters, such as Lamont, as a rematch with Tank is now off the table. However, this does not leave Lamont without prospects. The boxing landscape is broad, and he still has alternative fights that could help build his career. This situation demonstrates how a crossover spectacle like Jake vs. Tank reshuffles the traditional boxing calendar, creating both obstacles and new openings for other fighters while changing the dynamics of competition in the sport.
Got options. I mean, that young kid, Kamel Moton or Moton, is calling him out. He ain't going to do that. He's only 19. Floyd's young fighter. He can wait for the winner of Abdullah Mason Sam Noakes. I mean, Floyd Schofield's out. Options is what I'm trying to say. And then look, does he want to go down a weight? Does he want to go down to super feather? Let's not forget, I think he's still a belt holder in that division. I mean, O'Shaki Foster's there. Stephen Fulton is now in the division. We saw Raymond Ford, on the weekend? Sorry, weekend. When was that fight? 2 weekends ago.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.